Wednesday, July 8th, 9 p.m. in the DMV.
And 6 p.m. here in Los Angeles. I'm Jack Armstrong.
And I'm Sam Giacinto, and you're listening to Tech Talk Live. Welcome to the show. Before we get started today, Tech Talk Live loves Before Sunset AI. Before Sunset.ai is your AI productivity superhero. Use code Tech Talk Live for 3 months free and to support the show. Lots to talk about this week. We have
Absolutely.
an interesting medley of
Lots going on.
uh,
Yes. Everything
new
from
variety.
Apple upper level management. Tim Cook's successor, obviously, today made some headlines. We've got a lot with Stargate, some Rivian news. What should we dig off to? What do you think we should start with
Well,
today?
let's talk about Rivian. So Rivian's been more or less kind of in the news in a lot of ways, but I guess today there's sort of some rumors bubbling around that Rivian's spinoff, also incorporated, is raising $200 million for a micromobility um, kind of, I guess a micromobility spin. I mean, that's really the gist of the news report here. A lot of it's, their website is very vague. It's a better way to get there, according to their website, and it's coming this fall. And it's
Yeah,
a
so this could
dash
mean a
cam
lot though. Yeah.
of somebody
Right.
riding.
Riding the also EV scooter. Is it a scooter? Is it a sitting scooter? My prediction's a sitting scooter. I feel like it's a sitting scooter with a dash cam and a built-in screen that uses AI to predict your routes, the best route to get there. And I think, look, again, I feel like there is a space in the market for something like this that has a unique spin to the existing scooters that we all know and love in our cities that are reducing congestion from vehicles, that are offering another option. A lot of people don't want to bike to work because, oh, they don't want to get there sweaty. So an e-bike is perfect for that, or even a scooter. Better yet, you just stand or sit on it. So lots of alternatives. But yeah, also Inc. We don't really know, other than Rivian's new micromobility sidearm is now a new startup. So Rivian's done really well with traction and, of course, in the anti-Tesla movement. So it'll be interesting to see if the talent that moved over to also, and when their product actually comes out, it'll be interesting to see what's going on. So yeah, ridealso.com, sign up for their mailing list if you'd want to be alerted. I'm on that. So hopefully we can follow up when the micromobility device comes out. And yeah, we're looking for a company that makes e-scooters cool, I think. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do.
Yeah, I guess, currently 74 Apple, Google, Tesla, and Uber employees. And it's kind of aptly named. It's a stealth setup. Really, the only details from the CEO is that there is a seat, 2 wheels, a screen, a few computers, and a battery. So doesn't really tell you anything. So
Yeah.
we'll keep an eye on that one. Because there's a lot of
Well, there
things with a computer and a battery.
two wheels.
But
I have a feeling it'll be an e-scooter. I do. I feel like they're very trendy these days. I feel like bikes, people already, there's a lot of great e-bike options already. Bikes already, are out there. So I think for a new type of product, we've seen an e-scooter, but have we seen a really good one with that, with with all the bells and whistles, something that's also a good price that is trendy and actually people might take as our cities adopt these types of micromobility and multimodality ways of getting around. For example, foldability. Will the also potentially scooter? Will that? I mean, we've also seen Toyota, right? They came out with, I believe, that scooter that looked like a suitcase. I think that was Toyota, right?
I believe I want to say it was
Or
Honda.
Honda. Honda. So it was one of the car companies that came out with this little e-scooter, but it had like a seat, kind of
The,
looked like,
the Compacto.
yeah, the Compacto. Was that Honda or Toyota?
It was Honda.
That's Honda. Okay. Honda. So we've seen this already. So it'll be interesting, like a new take on a scooter that's hopefully cool looking and works well and also safe and has, a bell or a horn or a way to record also. So, cars don't hit you. And also works with software. You can track it if it gets stolen. So I think all of these components, and also user serviceable. I as a scooter rider myself, I think it's great to embrace these scooters, but I can tell you, if you buy an e-scooter and it breaks, good luck fixing it. You're gonna be stuck buying a new one instead of just replacing the tire with a tire kit that they send you in the mail. That's totally easy to do yourself. I think these companies traditionally have not made it easy to change your tires. If something happens, replace a battery, swap something out. So hopefully Rivian's new company can do it. Will be
So
interesting to see
you're
here.
supposed to Compacto.
So this is the Honda Micromobility
Yeah, so this is
system.
Honda's kind of equivalent here. Um, I mean, it's just a little, little
So
suitcase thing. Seemingly
what are the
thoughtful.
specs? How
So yeah,
fast can this thing go and how many miles? 15 miles per hour. So it's like a bike, basically. 15 miles per hour is like a bike, 12 miles of range, charges in 3.5 hours with a 7-second 0 to 15 time to accelerate completely. And it can have a weight capacity of 265 pounds. It's
but
recommended for riders 14 and
right.
older. So yeah, if you're 260 pounds, is actually, I think, on the low side. Most scooters I feel like I've seen have been 350. So
For
this
America, the
is
scooter,
for
but
America, I don't know. Yeah, this is
yeah.
definitely, there's definitely people over this weight limit.
Anyway,
But
but
it's nice
it
to be
looks,
able to customize it.
you know,
It's pretty
you
cool.
get kind of sleek design. So we'll see
Yeah, this
how
will
that
be
kind of
interesting to see what
and the
Rivian's
work
spinoff can
from
do.
mobility.
Well, and also it's fascinating that Rivian of all companies, like not Tesla, not, another type of EV like Hyundai is also pretty trendy, or Kia, well, we haven't seen anything else. So Rivian, is an EV only SUV truck company, right? We've seen the R1T, uh and it's been great. Obviously, a lot of traction, a lot of consumer demand for that brand. But yeah, I guess they have enough of a desire to produce a new type of electric powered micro mobility device with two wheels. So probably a scooter, hopefully. Let's see. Anyway, in other news, I think we should talk about Stargate striking back.
Yeah, so
So,
it's pretty interesting. I know a few weeks ago we talked about how Mr. Zuck is poaching people for his super intelligence team at Meta. So now Stargate striking back, um, poaching 4 engineers from Tesla, XAI, and Meta.
yeah.
Uh, so kind of a tit for tat, if you will.
Well, so it's also worth noting for those of you that don't know, the Stargate project was announced back in January, and it's OpenAI's new company. Of course, these companies have to then start new companies. I love when new companies start new companies. It's kind of funny. It's a trend of today's episode, that's for sure. But $500 billion is their intention to invest over the next 4 years building new AI infrastructure in the United States. They immediately started spending $100 billion. So this is something that we're following closely here. We see obviously that Stargate is on a hiring spree the past few weeks, and it's gotten so bad, I guess you could say. Apple people leaving. We've got yeah, lots going on. And OpenAI really doesn't like it when their talent is poached by Meta.
Well, yeah, and I think it kind of just goes to show how hungry these big players are to be the first, because the critical point of mass is to have a system which can iterate upon itself, right? Improve itself. Because there comes a point where, at least from a human intervention standpoint, you know, we, more or less, the first person to get to a system that doesn't need a human researcher in the loop to improve itself kind of wins all the marbles, in that sense, because it's like a rock rolling down a hill at that point. Um, Kind of hard to stop, but also incredibly enticing. Um, but the new hires will be part of the infrastructure scaling team. So essentially, part of Stargate is building one of the largest, really largest computing infrastructure projects ever conceived. I don't think there's anything really bigger by either cost or compute. I mean, this quite literally could be the largest single computing project in history. So again, it's just sort of taking the time to spin that up seems to be the latest fascination for you know for a good reason.
Definitely. It feels like also OpenAI kind of got, I don't, clearly they had a head start, but what I don't think they like is how Meta is really finding the talent that they've already discovered. Do you find that kind of odd too? Like, so OpenAI and the Stargate project, right? Like they hire these initial researchers, they hire these teams for AI, and they're charging ahead. They're the first mover. They're leading the way with ChatGPT. Of course, we have other companies we talk about all the time. And then now Meta decides we actually really want to be the best in AI. And it's weird because they're now out hiring people from OpenAI and poaching from other AI companies with better offers and really enticing deals to get them to jump ship. And I don't know. Like, I think, what does it speak to you about? Like, do you think we should be concerned as like the end user that Meta is so full speed ahead poaching people, or is this just competition like we see amongst companies normally?
I mean, if you know what you're doing and your skills are in demand, I mean, this quite literally is the top of the top as far as supply and demand. Supply for AI researchers of a certain caliber is very small. I mean, there may be a few hundred of them in the world, truly. So this is just a matter of, you know, it's going to go to the highest bidder. Um, and realistically, like, if you're one of these AI researchers, why not get the bag? I mean, you have the opportunity to really work on whatever you want. Both companies are doing cutting edge things, and it's just a matter of at that point, what interests you. And if it doesn't interest you, keep adding zeros until I'm interested. I mean, that's really kind of the power well wielded by the people in the top of their field and at the top of their game. So from a corporate standpoint, I think it just kind of highlights, we'll do whatever it takes to, again, kind of get to that critical inflection point of super intelligence and a model being able to iterate upon itself. No human researchers needed. Um, and hey, we have billions of dollars, and you don't get there by sitting on a pile of cash. You get there by, you know, throwing a ton of money at the people who can make it possible. Because at the end of the day, that's a a great human motivator. Um, you know, I mean, because why not? I mean, you absolutely cannot blame them. I mean, they're just maximizing their marginal utility um, as researchers, and also getting, they're having fun. I mean, honestly, like if you're a researcher, this is where the cutting edge is. Um, and you want to work on cutting edge things. I mean, you are at the top of your game. So yeah, I'd love to build the largest computer in history. That sounds fun, you know. So I'm happy for them. I mean, it really is you know, honestly, to be at the top of your game like that and kind of see, I mean, this is like kind of the national championship of the nerd off here. I mean, this is like, you know, uh the modern the nerd equivalent to the Super Bowl. I mean, build this giant computer.
Yeah.
Uh and not just giant doesn't do it justice, but we're talking a titanic supercomputer of proportions never seen before. I mean, it's mind-boggling. I mean,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I feel like with these types of projects, it's weird. I've always kind of been surprised because we've just like Nvidia only blew up lately. When AI became so popular. Of course, before that they were doing graphics and other computer chips, but I think lately it's like we've had artificial intelligence for a lot longer than we've had ChatGPT as a fully public thing. I mean, so I think that's interesting. Like as a tech enthusiast myself, I remind myself all the time, like this has always been kind of just new technology evolving. There have always been people studying algorithms and large language models and how to improve and train them and enhance the memory and the outputs and the capabilities and reasoning from these models. So it is really fascinating seeing how in demand this has just become. And also like Meta is paying millions and millions. I don't know what you think the largest offer is that Meta's been, poaching these engineers, these researchers with, but wow.
That was
It's
a
like
nine-figure offer, or
yeah.
eight-figure. What's 100 million? Is that, do you
100
count the zeros or do you count anyway? But we're
That's a lot.
talking, over $100 million in stock options, and I mean, you get to do whatever you want. I mean, it's really just it's about advancing the mission of what Zuck is wanting to do. Um,
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's cool that they're paying so well for the top people, but I mean, if more of us could be qualified for such a position like that, that'd be cool, you know?
well, I mean, even to put it this way, it's like the researcher getting paid, $100 million. It's like there's a reason why you're getting paid that much. Is the value of what they're creating is near infinite. I mean, it really is like, if anything, they're getting a fraction of a percent of what these people are hoping to strike in a way.
Yeah.
So I'd almost be like, can I get a raise? It's just sort of like, because honestly, like, this could be trillions upon trillions of dollar markets for, essentially replacing every knowledge worker in existence. So, that's where all the money is
Yeah.
coming from. Um,
Yeah.
So kind of the darker flip side is sort of, you know, this is a bit more than just a fat paycheck.
It's
There's
true.
a there could be a time frame on it.
That's true. Well, also speaking of AI and just overall, we have to talk about this sort of agentic AI operating system that is desiring to automate your workflows and help you be more productive. So, this is an interesting tool that you discovered. So, I guess we could kind of relate it like a Siri assistant, except infinitely more powerful and intelligent. It always understands you and can do exactly what you want. So this is called Warmwind, and it's from a German startup called Jenna. This is my first time hearing about this. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, so this came out. I mean, I first heard of this earlier today. But it is a cloud native, sort of AI driven platform that automates your workflows, essentially behaving like your own digital employee. It'll click, type, read, and navigate software interfaces without any API integration remotely. So essentially, you would ask Warmwind to say, "Hey, Warmwind, can you check and reply to all my customer service emails?" And in theory, at least according to the demo, Warmwind is able to open Gmail, select the first, unread email, read it, reply to it, all independent of interaction. So this is sort of like you're kind of, you have your own commandable agent for using the computer essentially. And we've talked about this before, at least with like the Claude agents and whatnot. And we have Claude Code now, which is essentially its own agentic developer. But this is sort of the first, at least that I've seen, just kind of a fully integrated. It's an operating system that you can essentially talk to and have it execute tasks beyond, uh, programming an app. So that's kind of the gist of it. It's a new way of using your computer. Um, and to be honest, I mean, it could be the future of how to use your computer and interact with your computer by issuing voice commands that are actually understood in conversational English. If you want to laugh, I mean, think about Siri doing the exact same thing. It's like, "Hey Siri, open my email and reply to the latest customer service emails." I mean, it would never, you know, it wouldn't work. Okay, I mean, we're given
Yeah,
Apple's
yeah,
hit, we're probably at least a decade away from that happening over there. That's
exactly.
I is 2 years away, and if you're Apple, it's maybe add 5 to 10 to that. But so
Yeah,
that's kind of, I mean, it's a very
well,
sleek, modern,
it's
cloud-based op.
interesting. This looks
Uh,
really cool. I think it's limited to certain apps though. So yeah, Warmwind has an app store. It's in closed beta. There's a waiting list you can sign up for. Um, this is really clean looking. It's really, really cool, clean, fresh. And also, most importantly, you're absolutely right. Like responding to customer service emails and navigating a computer system that maybe the company already has, I think could be extremely valuable in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, when you really start to think like on a greater level, that this could be trained really to replace employees, and that's a little concerning too when you really start to think about it, because we know AI has been disruptive, but this is now truly allow as a platform that allows companies to train AI to be doing tasks. that your employees are already doing in their workstation. So, this is the closest tool I've seen to like replacing entry level developers, entry level paralegals, entry level customer service reps. Um, and of course, I'm sure it can't do everything, but if there are certain repetitive tasks, it's really, yeah, going to be quite interesting to do the rudimentary, to do the very routine. I think this is just showing me that to be human and to rely less on, not less on AI, but humans are the ones that can reason. I know that we've got AI models that can also reason and think, but I feel like humans really need to pick up the pace when it comes to using their unique capabilities that can never be recreated by a system, using our unique human qualities. So I think a lot of the time I get frustrated when an AI talks back to me because I don't feel like they have that emotion that a human talks to, because a lot of companies are using AI chatbots
What
and they
AI
can
is
be helpful,
talking back
but
at you?
they can be helpful to some extent. There have been, I'm trying to remember what company it was actually. Yeah, it was really innovative. I returned a call. I'm trying to remember. This was actually fairly recently, and it was, I'm an assistant that can understand what you're, and it was like, instead of a phone system, we've already seeing it. Kind of like the Thoughtly phone system that can do the agentic phone calling and it transcribes in real time, and it can be a receptionist. It can do also outbound sales calls. It can do follow-up appointment calls, and it can do appointment setting. So AI models are really capable of already like making and receiving phone calls. So but I know that, again, like from the customer perspective, you just want to get help from a human as quickly and efficiently as possible. So, I think AI chatbots can be helpful to some extent, but is it really going to get you that refund that that exception that you need to explain your edge case? I don't know. And I think supervisors have a lot of power because they're real people, and we don't currently have AI managers that manage humans. So there's a reason for that. you know so yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, there's
We also
another.
have,
Yeah. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
yep, I'm moving on. I am thinking what you're thinking.
We should take it to the bit chat.
Absolutely. This is a cool one. So Twitter founder is building a chat app that doesn't need the internet. So kind of seen this before a little bit, but this is what he's been up to after founding Blue Sky. So what are your thoughts, other than maybe it looks very cryptic from the
So
initial?
you're right. We've kind of seen this before, right? BridgeFi is an example, and then Fire Chat as well. Kind of notoriously or famously, depending on who you ask, the messaging app used during the Hong Kong protests have been examples of decentralized messaging applications. Um, and I guess, BitChat kind of augments in some ways, or, as with FireChat, it's now defunct. BitChat more or less offers a claimed range of more than 300 meters or 984 feet in sort of a mesh configuration. So when you send a message, it essentially traverses through a mesh of devices, completely encrypted end to end, to your final destination. So using either, Bluetooth currently, with an update to Wi-Fi Direct in the future. So kind of a standard that allows wireless communication between two Wi-Fi devices. You may remember ad hoc Wi-Fi if you ever had a PlayStation Portable. You can connect between two wireless devices without having an access point or a router as sort of a peer-to-peer setup. So BitChat, has a lot of fun little things. There's a favorite system. You can tag people. There are channels involved as well, for topics with a few basic kind of commands. It's very IRC-esque. So kind of some of the first, you know, instant messaging platforms, kind of have a place of nostalgia for those who may have used them. This is very bare bones, but you can send private communication without internet or cell service that, essentially uses a, Bluetooth mesh network, to relay, um, your message well beyond the range of just your phone. Um, so
Yeah.
again, very privacy focused, no accounts, no servers, no data collection, password protected channels, and even a panic mode that clears all your data when the app icon is triple pressed, um, quickly 3 times.
So it's
Oh,
worth noting too, this Bluetooth mesh network, yeah, is fully encrypted. And it talks a little bit here in this diagram about how it actually is relaying that information. So I don't know. I know this gets a little deep, but I think it just kind of shows that there's as what more phones connect to the network and more information is relayed, they have the mesh network layer here with these relays where they kind of use this layer to
I
uh
will admit, it's a pretty screwed up architecture diagram.
this, this is yeah,
it's
why do you
it's
say
well, I mean, try following where these arrows go. I mean, this is like, do some of the arrows
oh
go behind this? Do some arrows, but anyway, you get what's going on. I don't really know why there's arrows in the first place if everything, anyway, but I'm not gonna mess with Jack. He's a good guy. It's just
but every device exactly acts as a hop between different peers. Use a 30 meter. So when is this coming out? We've got to figure this out. This is very
so
fascinating here.
it's available on test flight. I saw the post 4 hours after it came, and I was too late. So the test flight is full essentially, so you can, essentially Jack made the test flight public, and you were able to join it from your iPhone.
I
Um,
see.
but it was 4 hours after, and I was already too late. So you can
It's
set
when to a certain
10,000
number of people. Yeah.
download your app, or 100 users can download your app. But too late.
Yeah.
So try again next time, but also just keep an eye on it. I mean, I assume this will be, um, I can't imagine this will be too long before it comes out if he wants to release it. I think he really just wants to do some load testing and figure it out, from at least a code quality perspective, because the bigger the app is, the more effective it is when you have, this is literally the network effect, right? You can send your messages farther if everybody has the app running on their phone in their pocket, because you can hop around the whole city much quicker than if only two people have it. They have to be in
Yeah.
range of the other person. So, something
This
to
is a
keep.
this is a
Um,
cool idea, but this is going to be really interesting to see how it works. How messages hop until they get to their destination. Like some messages will take what years to get there, days. Some will take hours, minutes, seconds. Like it's really this is crazy.
it's a fascinating problem, because in a way it's very much like a routing protocol where your routers are consistently connected and disconnected. You almost have to, send a message out and sort of kind of guess which path it could take. But you'll probably have to send it to multiple devices, because there could be a scenario where, I mean, I'll have to read the white paper, I think, you know, very fascinating from that standpoint. But just trying to figure out how this thing works, I think probably some light
Yeah,
reading uh, for the evening.
it's fascinating. No, and also I think it's worth noting like the Apple Find My iPhone and Find My AirTag and that network. I mean, every iPhone is contributing, so
It works
it's
very.
fascinating.
I'm glad you brought that up. It's a very similar setup. So basically,
But what's interesting is that no internet is relaying the message, right? Like, so with AirTags, if your phone picks up a signal, the location of your phone is anonymously then going to help that AirTag owner find their
it
AirTag.
is uploaded to iCloud, so in that way, but it is a very much a. I mean, it utilizes the magic of low energy Bluetooth basically to kind of guesstimate um, where your AirTag is, more or less. Like iPhone X had a weak signal at this location. AirTag probably, could be over there at 7 p.m. Send that to
Yeah,
iCloud, you know. Um,
yeah,
so, kind of an example. A similar, obviously utilizing the low energy Bluetooth of the AirTag quite effectively. Um, but kind of a similar application in terms of technology.
yeah, true. Well, yeah, just the fact that mesh networks. There has also been a blockchain. I don't remember if we spoke about it. I don't know how it's doing, but I do know that there was a European-based Web3 company that decided to kind of anonymously report Bluetooth devices within range to their network. So they were basically capturing location data like by different Bluetooth devices. So like if there was like some device that was reported as like missing or stolen or something, like it would help give
Talking about,
insights. Do you remember this?
are you talking about Nodle?
Nodle, that's right. Yes. So these and
I
the phones were little nodes on a blockchain. Yeah, it was a really fascinating concept, but it got millions of users too, which is also interesting. And then they would reward you with some like token that's not worth anything really. So, but I think the general
oh,
concept is that yeah, your phone is a node, but like again, what benefit do you get? You get nothing. The company gets all the data. You get a few tokens that mean nothing. I think in theory it's great, and in practice it's done well. But for a network like this to really have value, there needs to be money and compensation involved. So I feel like I feel like their problem, personally, I don't know much about the Nodal project, but I remember that it didn't seem that enticing because it's not like, wow, I'm going to start making $50 every month on my phone just because I'm part of this network, But like, if the tokens were really worth something and people started making $5, $10, 20, 50, 100, like if you cover a lot of ground, report a lot of data to the network. Imagine if you made $100 in a month from your phone, like $3 a day or something. Like just think for a second. How influential and powerful that would be. So like that's the motivation for why they should have a financial reason to do it, right? An incentive to do it. That way they can attract more users for that reason as well. So yeah, fascinating. I wonder how this BitChat Jack Dorsey project will go. Very, very interesting.
something to keep an eye on. Like everything else, never a dull week.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, I think that just about does all the news we had for our show today. Stay tuned every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We're here. Chat in, call in, follow us online, and visit our website to subscribe to our newsletter at techtalklive.xyz. And again, Tech Talk Live is brought to you by beforesunset.ai. Use promo code TechTalkLive to sign up and support the show. Save 15% off your subscription. Awesome. Well, we'll be back, I think, next week, same time, same place, with more tech news and great conversation very soon.